If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a comment. We love hearing from you. So the two most common ways to knit socks are toe up and top down. And obviously there's going to be two very different ways that you're going to cast on for these socks. So I'm going to show you which ones you would use. So for your top-down sock, you want to have a cast on that's fairly stretchy, and our favorite one to use is the long tail cast on. So for the long tail cast on, you're going to need a long tail. There are different ways to measure how much of a tail that you're going to need, because if you're knitting, if you're casting on a large amount of stitches, you're going to need a longer tail, because the tail is part of the cast on. You're going to do a slip knot. And you have your tail on the left side and your working yarn on the right side. And you're going to put your thumb and your index finger underneath, and you're going to grab the two tails. And you're going to slingshot your yarn toward you. And this is going to be a series of motions that you're going to repeat. So it's 3 parts. So you're going to go underneath through your thumb, from the top through your index finger, and then you're going to come back out through your thumb. And then you can let that go and pull it tight. So again, through the thumb, through the index finger, and then out. Okay, and I'll show you the starting point again. So you're going to go underneath, and you're going to grab those strands. And yeah, I would hold it right here to keep it from sliding off. And as you get faster at this, you will notice that your yarn will naturally travel through your hands as you go. And the nice thing about this cast on is, like I said, it's got a nice amount of stretch to it. And if you are knitting in the round, this one's a great choice because it's very easy to see when your stitches are twisted. So when you go to join in the round, you want your stitches to be nice and straight. And this one has a really nice, stable spine. So for your toe up sock, the cast on is going to be a little bit different because you are going to create this small little bit of fabric here, which is essentially, you know, a uniform piece of fabric right here that you're going to start knitting in the round. So it starts a little bit similar to the long tail cast on, except you're going to be casting onto 2 needles. And you're going to start with the slip knot. And you'll put the slip knot on the needle closest to you. And you're going to put your fingers through the yarn much in the same way from the long tail cast on, but the movements are going to be a little bit different. So with your thumb, you're going to swing your hand over to this side, and you're going to wrap the yarn around the needle on this side. Then you're going to take your index finger and you're going to wrap it around, wrap it around the yarn that's closest to you. So you're kind of moving in this opposite direction. Okay. So you're going to go around it like that and like that. And you're going to cast on an even number on either side. So, and you're going to end on the opposite side that you started. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So we'll start with that just to show how this works. And then you're going to turn your needles around this way. And you've got this kind of like, for lack of a better term, it's like a live stitch. So you're just going to kind of tuck that down here so you won't lose it. And then you're going to take your working yarn and you're going to pull your needle out. And you're going to start knitting the first needle. Okay, so once you knit the first side, you're going to pull your needle out and you're going to start knitting the other needle. But this side, just by the nature of this cast on, the stitches are actually a little bit twisted. So instead of knitting through the front loop, you're going to knit this through the back loop. And this is only for this first kind of setup row. So we're going to go in through the back loop. Okay, so once you get to the end of this row, this last stitch, you just give it a little tug. So now, what you are left with is this flat piece of fabric that is going to be knit in the round. And as you make your increases, it's going to shape this part of the sock. So you can kind of see like the piece that you're knitting here. So this part is going to grow and your increases are going to be on either side. And eventually it's going to kind of fold over and you're going to be knitting in the round for the rest of your sock.